last year but had to pass on last month. That's in the person of Tomiwa. If studio would help some of his pictures, and please pray for me so I don't break down at this point. break down at this point. Okay? I told myself that boss said you have to do this and you have to put it all together. Okay, so he interned with us at RCV for a few months and was here at the time we were hosting others' assets from one generation to another. That's how important values are. You should transfer them when you are like my children. These are the values. You groom them with it, you give it to them. They add to it, they groom, they give it. So that at the end of the day, they know that this family, this is their pattern. It's values that makes it happen. So it is true that values must never be assumed, and that's why we are here to learn about it. It is true that they must be deliberately taught, yes, to the next generation and nurtured to fruition. It is also true that like precious stones, values become eroded when we neglect them, whether deliberately or by default. It is true that values do not have the capacity to lose value. Okay, play on words there, but I mean every single thing. It's true that values do not have the capacity to lose value on their own accord. While I stand here and apportion, I do not stand here to apportion blames or play the judge, I will at least nudge your hearts as parents or minders at NCPS 2023 that you are supposed to be custodians of great values and you're supposed to pass them on without depletion. And no, values won't get transferred overnight. You need a concerted effort. But it is worth the trouble. Values are the most difficult things to hold on to because people want to do things the way they like. So when you keep insisting, no, it's done this way, it's not it's not one of the easiest things to do, but it's worth the trouble. Tell me, have you seen any great product that has no defined recipe? Have you seen a sojourner without a compass or a guide? That's what you do when you have no definite set of values you are using to groom your children or students on the path. And I have this poem that I made about values. I just go through them. I call them values eulogy. Values deliver you from life's valleys. Values boost the velocity of your genuineness. Values serve as your quality valve. Values put on you the stamp of validity. Values help you avoid vagueness. Values assure you of victory. Values separate you from the class of the vanquished. Values establish for you an auto-vetting mechanism. Values drive visitors of means in your direction. Values are your vehicles into the world of significance and sustainability. Values may be vehement, but they are not violent. Values ostracize violent men from your camp. At this point, I'd like to welcome Tireni, Olua, and Lashe. Just so you know that we are not talking about things we are not doing. One of the difficult jobs to do is to be called to train in character development because you cannot make it up. You are either it or you are out. So I'd like to welcome my two last babies, Tireni and Lashe. They'll come. They are wondering why I'm saying babies. They want to tell you something about our own family values, just so you know that it's possible to raise them and let them be too sure. Please come. Let them be sure of what values they are being raised by. Okay, so welcome with me, Lashe and Tireni, as they tell you the Obasa's family values. Please step forward a bit.
Good day, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Olushola Obasa Tireni Olua, and with me is Tiolua Lashe Olushola Obasa. Standing on the existing protocol of the event, we're here to share our own family values, which we believe that you will be able to learn from. So our family have set of values, and we decided to make some our core values. And in order to ensure that we do not forget them, we made it into an acronym, DESIRE with double R. DESIRRE. D for decency. Decency means a lot more than just how you dress to an Olushola Obasa. It is how you comport yourself and how people see you, how you bring yourself forward to the public.
E for excellence. In the Olushola Obasa family, we don't only believe that you must be excellent in your academics, yet we believe you must be excellent all around in your academics, in your social life, and in your spiritual life. As my mom will always say, put a touch of excellence in everything you do.
S for spirituality. Every Olushola Obasa family child has been groomed to understand the importance of a personal relationship with God. And thanks to our parents, we all have learned to cultivate and now as a value.
I for integrity. Integrity in the Olushola Obasa family is the way you carry your brand, the way you carry yourself, not only when you're outside in the public, but also when you're with your friends and with your family. Integrity for us is the way you trust people and the way people are able to rely on you, even in case when you found yourself in a difficult situation.
R for respect. And Olushola Obasa must be ready to respect everyone around them, both elder and younger. It is a value in the Olushola Obasa's family that an elder sibling must be able to respect the younger one and not pick on them. And elder and younger children are not allowed to disrespect their elders in any way. And most importantly, every child must give due respect to both parents without any sign of disrespect. The second R is responsibility. Every Olushola Obasa must be ready to take responsibility for each of their actions. This also includes the chores that we are given. Everyone must be able to do it diligently and without complaining, because that will groom you into a better person. The last E is empathy.
Empathy is the way you feel for people, the way you don't just ignore others' feelings, either their time when they are happy or when they are sad. The way you don't only think about yourself and you also think about the feelings of others when you are about to make a difficult situation or decision.
Lastly, remember to care about those that are around you just as much as you care for yourself, but not necessarily more than you care for yourself. Thank you very much. I hope we have been able to educate you a little on our family values. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so I decided to do that just so you know that there's work to do. And you have to be deliberate. Now, you saw them. Many of the times, this is from shouting to insisting to do, know, to teach, to sit down. And over the period, I was not part of anything they said here, but they've heard it over and again. I didn't know how they decide who takes the first, who takes the second. No, I was not. So, but that's the template that's the DNA we are raising them with as Olushola Obasa. They should be able to do the same for their own children. So now they are free to review it, review the methods, because values never go stale. They do not expire. Respect will never expire. Responsibility will never expire. Excellence will never expire. The methods may change, but the message remains the same. So there's work to do. I want you to have a very amazing time today at the National Character Parenting Summit. Thank you and welcome.
Thank you so much, Mrs. Olushola Obasa. That was a really inspiring session. I think I had to quickly write what she said in her closing remark by saying that values never expire. So the method could change year after year. I mean, yes, the methods change. I'm the first daughter of my house. I know how my parents trained me. And I know how they trained the fourth born and the third born. And I think that happens in every home. I mean, who's a witness to that? That you're a lot, there's a way you are held, like, and by the time you see these younger ones coming and they're okay, no problem. This one comes and say, okay, my allowing needs to increase, so, and they're negotiating the amount. And I'm there looking like, negotiate. But you really need to understand that as I can't use the same method. something would always have to change. The values would always remain the same, but the methods could differ, but ensuring that instilling those values are very much important. So thank you so much, Mrs. Olushola Obasa. Thank you so much. Please let's put our hands together once again for the convener of this event. Like I mentioned earlier, we are here today for a very amazing session. This session in today's event would be delivering value to you. It could sound like something you've heard before. It could sound familiar. But somewhere there, when we were talking about parenting, somewhere there, you just have to put your years down. Whether you are single, you are married for 10 years, 20 years, because even if you feel like you have children that are grown up, a lot of times you have your church community, you have your family, some people are teachers, and you must be able to reinvent how to pass this value on to the community. And like I mentioned earlier, I'll keep saying this, that this is not just a one-man project. So Ms. Obasa has been doing this for the last 9 years, consistently. I'll keep saying consistently because that is something I'm holding at this event, the power of consistency. She has been doing this consistently over the last 9 years. And this is something that is not just impacting a brand, this is something that is impacting the nation. So, and we're not making too much noise about it by saying, oh, this is what we're doing, but somewhere there in our corners, we're delivering value. We're seeing how that, we see what our society is today, and sometimes, you are happy about what's happening, sometimes you're just like, you're praying, honestly. And you must just be able to understand that values can never be overemphasized. Thank you so much, Mrs. Olushola Obasa, for starting NCPS, honestly, for taking on that vision for NCPS. So we'll go right on, before we get into our next session. We'll be doing a quick giveaway session, and this one comes with a little tweak. So now we want someone to say a proverb in their native dialect. So I'm sure that, how many dialects do we have in Nigeria? How many ethnic groups? Then how many sub-ethnics? Some people say I'm Ijebu, Kenekon, I'm Ijebu, one thing. But all of us together do. Okay, so we want someone to say a proverb in their native dialect and tell us the meaning. I was telling Dorcas earlier that how do I ascertain that this person is saying the right thing? What if you don't get someone else? Yes. So a proverb that is teaching a value in your native dialect. So it could be, you might not need to go to the intricate native dialect. If it's in the Yoruba proverb that is teaching a value, that is teaching and touching. Any volunteer in the house? In your native dialect, please. Okay. That's the issue. I really don't fancy if I see how much elderly people raising up their hands. I feel like, people like us that struggled with Yoruba for a very long time before we got a hang on it. So who else? Any other volunteer? You volunteered, sir? Yes. So we would like you to tell us the value and explain what it teaches. Then we want to find someone to ascertain. Yes. So maybe you tell us where you are from. Yeah.
Okay, good morning, everybody. My name is Nosa Ihaza. I am from Benin City in Edo State. So any witness? Anybody to verify what I'm going to say? From Benin Kingdom. Anybody? So whatever I say, you take it as the truth, right? Okay. Natia nyo nave tieveve. What that says literally is, let's call a drink, and cola nut. Let's not turn it the other way around. And the simple value is, we all have the saying in English, let's call a spade a spade. So let's be truthful in whatever we do. There's nothing like gray. It's either black or white. That's it.
No what, ma? No white light. Is it that white or black? That's the power of integrity. High integrity. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. We have another volunteer. Did you raise up your hand, sir? Okay. Oh, you raised your hand, ma. Oh, thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Victoria Mattis from Ogun State. It says, Shebo Timo Elewa Shapon. Meaning that do what is within your capacity. Don't do what you cannot finish, or don't start what you cannot finish. Live within your capacity. That is the meaning.
Thank you very much for that. Now, I'm also looking for people under 30, please. That's the challenge. Now we'll be seeing our mothers that are doing this program, and I think it's a thought that I've been having, Ms. Obasa, which I think is very important, ma. I always say that I almost have very little proverbs to tell my children. It's no lies. So in the next 50 years, many of these proverbs will turn to integrity and turn to, but there's something about that language. There's just something that the language does. So I'm looking for someone under 25. Yes, under 25. Anybody that can say it in native that under 25, you have, yeah, there's someone else. I'll come.
Good morning, everyone. My name is
below and strong institutions, partnership for the goals. All these are supposed to work, in tandem with one another to let us having the sustainable society that we're looking for our young persons. They are also known as Agenda 2030, which most of you have been hearing about. These are the things that we strive to achieve. And of course, we cannot do these things without the young person's involvement. It involves teaching children about the interconnectivity of the world and how their action can have far-reaching consequences. By promoting sustainable global values, children will be encouraged to think beyond their immediate, not affect the next generation. And so that is the same thing we're passing on to the youth, to be able to know that we have a conducive environment that businesses and life can thrive. What this means, in essence, is that the present generation have a moral obligation to act in a way that ensures the well-being of future generations, taking into account their needs and interests. Now, what are the roles of youngsters in sustainable development? I'd like to say that young people are seen as potent agents of change. They can fight corruption, they can bring bribery to a halt, and of course, cause transformation. Students should use their education to benefit the nation as a whole. Activists must come from among the youth. The activities of young people may make a difference if they instill in them a feeling of purpose, value, and accomplishment. Whatever you're doing as a young person, you must have a purpose for it. It must be positively driven. Those working in environmental sustainability increasingly see children and teenagers as a vital constituency, and they're encouraging them to become involved in the work. Special attention must be paid to engagement of young people. Youth participation is both limitless and unavoidable in order to achieve long-term sustainability. Of course, young people play a crucial role in sustainable global development. I would not like to bore you with quite a lot of things, but I would like to also state that young people bring fresh perspectives and innovative ideas to address global challenges. I'll tell you how this works as we go ahead. They possess a unique ability to think creatively and outside the box, which is essential for finding sustainable solutions. Their energy, enthusiasm, and willingness to take risks can lead to the development of new technologies, practices, and policies that promote sustainability. United Nations 2015, and so on and so forth. The elements that influence youngsters' contributions to sustainable development, what are those elements? Advocacy and activism. They can engage in advocacy for environmental conservation, social justice, and human rights. Young activists often lead movements for change, creating awareness, pushing for policy reforms, provided these are done in a manner that is acceptable by the laws and the regulations that are set forth by government to do, and to ensure that their voices are heard. But I would like to say a single youth strength may not have a sufficient influence, but when combined with other youths, strength and impact may be tremendous. Sustainability can only be achieved by integrating science, community, and culture. Youth involvement is very essential in most of the things that we have talked about so far. So youth need to work together to ensuring that they achieve a common goal. It takes me to education and awareness. Young people can educate themselves and others about global issues through social medias, blogs, and community events. They can raise awareness about climate change, inequality, and other pressing concerns. A school's inclusive goal should be to educate, empower, and engage students. That is one of the ways that we could create awareness. And of course, I will take you very quickly to the policy engagement that youths can be involved in.